Fear is a powerful force, but it exists only in the mind. It is a story we tell ourselves, a projection of worst-case scenarios that have not even happened yet. It tricks us into believing that danger is imminent, when in reality, it is simply our brain trying to protect us from the unknown. The problem is, fear does not differentiate between real threats and imagined ones. It reacts the same way whether we are facing an actual life or death situation or just the discomfort of stepping outside our comfort zone. Action, on the other hand, is real. It is tangible. It creates change. The moment you take action, you shift your focus from what if to what's next. You stop entertaining fear and start creating momentum. Fear thrives in inaction, feeding off hesitation and doubt. But the second you move, fear loses its grip because now you are in control. Think about any time in your life when you were afraid to do something, speak in public, make an important decision, take a risk. The anticipation was always worse than the actual experience. Fear makes everything seem bigger and scarier than it really is. But once you take that first step, reality sets in. You realize that it is not as terrifying as you imagine. The situation itself does not change, but your perspective does. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It will always choose safety over progress. That is why so many people get stuck, waiting for the right time to act. But waiting does not eliminate fear, it magnifies it. The longer you hesitate, the stronger the fear grows. The only way to shrink fear is to face it head on. Every step forward weakens its hold on you, proving that it was never real in the first place. People who achieve massive success are not fearless. They feel fear just like everyone else, but they refuse to let it dictate their actions. They know that fear is a liar, and the only way to silence it is by moving forward. They do not wait for fear to disappear before they act despite it. And in doing so, they build unshakable confidence, because confidence is nothing more than the reward of repeated action. Action creates evidence. It proves to your mind that you are capable, that you are stronger than your doubts. Every time you take action, you rewrite the narrative in your head. What once seemed impossible becomes achievable. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Fear loses its power when you prove to yourself over and over again that you are bigger than it. If you let fear control you, it will build walls around your potential, keeping you trapped in a life that is smaller than what you are capable of. But when you take action, you shatter those walls and expand your reality. You give yourself permission to grow, to learn, to evolve. You step into a version of yourself that is bold, decisive, and unstoppable. The choice is simple: stay frozen in fear, letting it dictate your future, or take action and reclaim your power. Fear may never disappear completely, but it does not have to control you. It is just a shadow, an illusion. The only thing that is real is the action you take. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. How you think, the patterns you follow, and the beliefs you hold shape your actions and ultimately determine your results. Fear is not just an emotion, it is a habit. A conditioned response built from years of hesitation, doubt, and negative self-talk. But just like any habit, it can be broken and replaced with something more powerful. Success is also a habit, one that is built through repeated actions, bold decisions, and an unshakable belief in your own potential. Your brain is constantly looking for patterns, for familiar routines to follow. If you have spent years responding to challenges with fear, your brain will default to that response every time you face uncertainty. It is not because you are incapable, it is simply because you have trained yourself to react that way. The good news is that you have the power to rewire those patterns, to replace fear with confidence and hesitation with action. The way to do that is through conscious, deliberate repetition of new behaviors. Rewiring your mindset starts with awareness. You must become conscious of the moments when fear takes over, when doubt creeps in and convinces you to stay small. Instead of accepting those thoughts as truth, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this fear based on reality? Or is it just an old habit trying to keep me safe? The more you question your fear, the weaker its grip becomes. You begin to see it not as an unchangeable force, but as a choice you no longer have to make. Success is built the same way fear is, through repetition. If you repeatedly take bold action, push your doubts, and prove to yourself that you are capable, you create a new pattern. Your brain starts to recognize confidence, risk-taking, and persistence as the new normal. What once felt uncomfortable becomes second nature. The first time you step outside your comfort zone, it feels terrifying. The 10th time, it feels empowering. The 100th time, it feels like home. Your identity is shaped by your habits. If you constantly give into fear, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who hesitates, someone who avoids risk, someone who is controlled by doubt. But if you consistently choose courage over fear, action over hesitation, you start to see yourself differently. You become the kind of person who takes charge, who embraces challenges, who thrives under pressure. That shift in identity is the key to lasting transformation. The people who succeed at the highest level are not special. They were not born fearless. They simply made a decision over and over again to condition their minds for success instead of fear. They replaced limiting beliefs with empowering ones, excuses with discipline, and hesitation with immediate action. They trained themselves to see opportunity where others see obstacles, to move forward when others freeze. That kind of mindset is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Every moment is an opportunity to reinforce a habit. Right now, in this very second, you are either strengthening the habit of fear or strengthening the habit of success. There is no in between. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you push past discomfort, you rewire your brain to expect courage instead of fear. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you solidify the habit of success. The choice is always in your hands. You can continue running the same program of fear, staying stuck in the same cycle of hesitation. Or you can interrupt it and install a new operating system, one that is built for success, growth, and unstoppable confidence. Fear is energy. It is raw, powerful, and intense. But what most people do not realize is that this energy is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. It is simply a force. What you do with it determines whether it holds you back or propels you forward. Fear can act as a chain, keeping you stuck in hesitation, or it can be the fuel that ignites your greatest breakthroughs. The same intensity that makes fear feel overwhelming is the same intensity that can push you to take massive action. Most people are paralyzed because they associate it with danger. They see fear as a warning sign to stop, to retreat, to stay safe. But fear is often a signal that you are on the edge of something important. It means you are stepping into the unknown, into a place where growth happens. Instead of running from it, what if you leaned into it? What if instead of viewing fear as a stop sign, you treat it as a green light, a signal to move forward with even greater urgency? Think about the moments in your life when you felt the most fear before a big decision, a major challenge, or an important opportunity. That fear was not just telling you to back off, it was telling you that this moment mattered. The reason fear feels so strong is because deep down you know that what is on the other side of it is worth fighting for. The bigger the fear, the bigger the potential reward. If it did not matter, you would not feel fear at all. Fear and excitement create almost identical physical reactions. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your breath quickens. The only difference between the two is the story you tell yourself about what you are feeling. If you call it fear, you will shrink. If you call it excitement, you will rise. You have the ability to reframe fear, to turn it from a force that holds you back into one that drives you forward. The greatest athletes, performers, and leaders in the world do not eliminate fear, they harness it. Fear creates focus. When you are afraid, your senses heighten, your awareness sharpens, your body prepares itself for action. This is not a weakness, this is an advantage. Instead of letting fear make you freeze, channel that heightened state into something productive. Use it to fuel your determination, to push harder, to move faster. Let it remind you that you are alive, that you are stepping into something meaningful, something that demands your full presence and effort. If fear stops, you win. If you use it to drive you forward, you win. Every time you take action despite fear, you weaken its power over you. You prove to yourself that it does not control you, you control it. Over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes exhilarating. The same fear that used to stop you becomes the very thing that pushes you to achieve more, to take bigger risks, to reach for higher levels of success. Fear is not the enemy. The real enemy is letting fear make your decisions for you. The people who accomplish the most in life are not those who feel the least fear, but those who take action regardless of it. They know that fear is not a barrier, it is a tool. It is a force that, when directed with purpose, becomes a catalyst for greatness. The choice is always yours. You can let fear keep you stuck, or you can use it as the fuel that drives you to your next level. It is not about waiting for the fear to disappear. It is about deciding that it will no longer dictate your actions. Everything changes the moment you make a real decision. Not when you think about it, not when you consider it, but when you commit with absolute certainty. A true decision means cutting off any other possibility, removing all exits, and stepping fully into what you have chosen. Most people never experience the power of a real decision because they leave themselves an escape route. They tell themselves, I'll try, I'll see how it goes, or I'll do my best. That is not a decision. That is hesitation disguised as action. When you truly decide, there is no turning back. You burn the boats, eliminating any way to retreat. The reason most people fail is that they give themselves too many options. They allow doubt to creep in, entertaining thoughts of quitting or falling back on a backup plan. But when you remove the possibility of failure in your mind, your only choice is to move forward, to make it work no matter what. That level of commitment creates an unstoppable force within you. Look at the people who have achieved massive success in any field. They did not dip their toes in the water, they dove in headfirst. They made a decision, locked in their focus, and refused to waver. The difference between success and mediocrity is not talent or luck, it is the ability to make a decision and stay committed to it long after the excitement fades. Anyone can decide when they feel motivated, but real success comes from following through when things get difficult, when doubt creeps in, when the initial enthusiasm wears off. Deciding and committing create clarity. When you are fully committed, you stop wasting time over analyzing or second-guessing. You stop searching for backup plans and instead channel every ounce of your energy into making your decision work. This clarity allows you to move faster, to take bolder action, to adapt and overcome obstacles instead of retreating from them. It eliminates mental clutter and replaces it with a laser focus on results. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, the right feeling. But the truth is, waiting is just a form of avoidance. There's no perfect moment to take action, no ideal conditions where everything lines up perfectly. The only thing that creates progress is making a decision and committing to it fully. The longer you wait, the more time you waste, the more opportunities pass you by. Commitment is what separates those who achieve from those who dream. When you are only half committed, you give up when things get tough. But when you are all in, when you have no way out, you push through no matter what. That kind of commitment forces you to grow, to develop new skills, to find solutions instead of excuses. It turns obstacles into stepping stones and failures into lessons. Fear disappears when you commit fully. When you hesitate, fear has space to grow. It fills the gaps left by uncertainty. But when you remove hesitation and replace it with unwavering commitment, fear has nowhere to live. The only thing left is action. The more you act, the stronger you become, and the more unstoppable your momentum grows. The moment you decide and commit is the moment your life changes. It is the moment you take control, declare what you want, and refuse to settle for anything less. Nothing in life moves until you decide, and nothing extraordinary happens until you commit with everything you have. Most people wait for the perfect moment before they take action. They want all the answers, all the steps laid out, every detail planned before they make a move. But life does not work that way. The path only reveals itself after you start walking. If you wait until you feel ready, you will be waiting forever. The only way to create momentum, to move toward your goals, is to take the first step now, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain. Fear feeds on hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger the doubt becomes. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, listing all the reasons why you are not ready, why it might not work, why you should wait just a little longer. But the truth is, you will never have complete certainty. You will never have a foolproof plan. The only way to gain confidence is through action. Every step forward gives you more clarity, more experience, and more proof that you are capable. Think about any major achievement in your life. Did you know exactly how it would unfold from the beginning? Or did you figure out along the way? Success is never about having the perfect plan. It is about adapting, learning, and growing as you go. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation started with a single decision to move forward, even without all the answers. Taking the first step creates a chain reaction. One action leads to another, and before you know it, you have built momentum. It does not have to be a giant leap. It can be a phone call, a decision, a single move in the right direction. What matters is that you shift from thinking to doing. The moment you do, you start changing your reality instead of just imagining what could be. Too many people let fear of failure stop them from even beginning. They convince themselves that if they cannot do it perfectly, they should not do it at all. But perfection is a myth. No one starts as an expert. No one has it all figured out from day one. The only difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is the willingness to take imperfect action. Progress beats perfection every time. Clarity comes from movement, not from sitting on the sidelines. You cannot think your way into success. You have to take action and adjust as you go. You will make mistakes. You will face challenges, but every misstep is a lesson. Every challenge an opportunity to grow. The only real failure is standing still, watching life pass you by while you wait for the perfect conditions that will never come. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most important. Once you take it, the fear begins to fade. Your confidence starts to grow. Your vision becomes clearer. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible feels within reach. The key is to stop overthinking, stop analyzing every detail, and just start moving. Action is the antidote to fear, the solution to doubt, and the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. No matter how big your goal, no matter how far the destination seems, everything starts the same way with a single step. Take it now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now. Your emotions are not just a product of your thoughts, they are deeply connected to your physical state. The way you move, the way you breathe, the way you carry yourself all have a direct impact on how you feel. Most people try to change their mindset by thinking differently, but that is only part of the equation. If you want to shift your emotions instantly, change your physiology first. Move with energy, breathe deeply, stand tall, and your mind will follow. Think about how you feel when you are slouched over, breathing shallowly, looking down. That posture creates low energy, low confidence, and a weak emotional state. Now imagine standing up straight, shoulders back, breathing powerfully, moving with certainty. That physical shift immediately creates a different emotional response. Your body sends signals to your brain, telling it how to feel, and your brain responds accordingly. High performers understand this connection. When they need to step up, they do not wait to feel motivated. They generate the state they need through movement. Athletes jump up and down before a big game. Performers use power poses before stepping on stage. Leaders walk with purpose before making an important decision. They do not wait for emotions to change. First, they move their bodies, and the right emotions follow. Most people get stuck in negative emotions because they stay physically stuck. When you feel stressed, overwhelmed, or fearful, the worst thing you can do is sit still, overthinking the problem. Instead, shift your state immediately. Get up, take a walk, do a workout, shake out the tension, breathe in deeply. Physical movement disrupts negative thought patterns and replaces them with clarity and energy. Your mind and body are always influencing each other. If you allow yourself to move sluggishly, your thoughts will reflect that energy. But if you start moving with power and intention, your thoughts will rise to that level. It is impossible to stay in a negative emotional state when your body is in a peak physical state. The fastest way to change how you feel is to change how you move. This is why exercise is so powerful. It is not just about physical health, it is about mental transformation. The moment you start moving, endorphins are released, your stress levels drop, and your focus sharpens. Even a few minutes of intense movement can completely shift your mood. If you ever feel stuck, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, do not sit there trying to think your way out of it. Get up and move. The most successful people in the world condition themselves to use motion as a tool. They do not let emotions dictate their actions. They use action to dictate their emotions. They understand that if they want to feel powerful, they must move powerfully. If they want to feel confident, they must carry themselves with confidence. They create their state instead of waiting for it. Everything you need to change your emotions is already within your control. You do not have to wait for inspiration, for motivation, or for the right circumstances. You have the power to shift your mindset instantly by shifting your body. Move first and the rest will follow. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It can work for you or against you, depending on whether you take control of it. When you start moving in the right direction, even with small actions, you create energy that builds upon itself. A tiny win today leads to a bigger win tomorrow, and before you know it, you have built unstoppable progress. Success is not about massive leaps, it is about consistent movement in the right direction. Most people never build momentum because they underestimate the power of small actions. They believe that if they cannot make a massive change overnight, their efforts do not matter. But the truth is, the biggest transformations come from small, consistent victories. A single step forward, repeated day after day, compounds into extraordinary results. It is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing something every single day. When you take even the smallest action, you shift from a state of inaction to a state of progress. That shift alone is enough to change your mindset. The hardest part of any journey is getting started, but once you do, movement creates more movement. When you achieve a small win, it reinforces the belief that you are capable. That belief fuels more action, creating a cycle of growth that keeps getting stronger. Momentum eliminates hesitation. When you are standing still, doubt has time to creep in. You overthink, you analyze, you talk yourself out of taking action. But when you are moving, there is no space for hesitation. You start focusing on execution instead of excuses. Every action you take strengthens your confidence, and with each step forward, fear begins to lose its grip. Success is not about motivation, it is about momentum. Motivation comes and goes, but momentum is something you create and sustain through action. The more you move, the more energy you generate, and the easier it becomes to keep going. This is why the most successful people in the world do not wait for motivation. They build habits that create momentum, so they never need to rely on fleeting emotions. Even when challenges arise, momentum keeps you going. The hardest part of any endeavor is pushing past the early resistance. But once you have built momentum, obstacles that once seemed overwhelming become easier to navigate. You have already proven to yourself that you can make progress, so setbacks become nothing more than temporary pauses, not roadblocks. The people who achieve the most in life are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They are the ones who understand how to leverage momentum. They know that if they take small, consistent actions every day, their results will compound over time. They do not need to see the finish line to keep moving. They trust that each step forward is bringing them closer. Everything you want is on the other side of consistent action. It does not matter where you start. What matters is that you start. Small wins, repeated consistently, create massive results. Keep moving, keep building, and before you know it, momentum will take over and push you toward the success you were meant for. Most people want extraordinary results, but very few are willing to take the kind of action required to achieve them. They set big goals, dream of a better life, and visualize success, but when it comes time to execute, they hesitate. They take small, safe steps and expect massive rewards, but success does not work that way. If you want something extraordinary, you must be willing to do what most people won't. Take relentless, massive action. Massive action is not about doing something once and hoping for the best. It is about attacking your goal with an unstoppable mindset, showing up every single day with intensity and commitment. It is about pushing beyond what feels comfortable, breaking through fear, and doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to be. You cannot dip your toe in the water and expect to create waves. You have to dive in fully, without hesitation. There will be setbacks, failures, and challenges along the way. That is inevitable. But those who take massive action do not let obstacles define them. They adapt, they adjust, and they keep moving forward no matter what. The key is to stay in motion, to take action so consistently and so aggressively that success has no choice but to show up. You do not get what you wish for, you get what you work for. If you want extraordinary results, stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start taking massive action now. The future you want is built by the actions you take today, so go all in, give it everything you've got, and refuse to stop until you get there.